What do you do if ICE shows up at your place of worship? Let's break down your rights because knowing them ahead of time can protect your congregation and also prevent panic. Hi, I'm Shazeen. I'm an immigration attorney and I've been practicing law for 14 years. I'm going to make this as simple as possible and explain to you what to do if ICE shows up at your mosque, synagogue, church, or any other place of worship. The first thing you need to know is that ICE agents are not allowed to enter any private areas without a judicial warrant, which is a warrant that is signed by a judge. A valid judicial warrant will not only have a signature, but it will also have the name of the person that they're looking for and the correct address. So the first thing you need to do as a staff member is to ask for that warrant before they enter any private areas. And before we go into what counts as public and private areas, let's briefly go over administrative warrants. Lately, ICE agents are trying to use administrative warrants or admin warrants instead of judicial warrants. And here's a couple of things that you need to know about them. They are not the same thing for the purposes of the Fourth Amendment, which protects people from unreasonable search and entry into private spaces. If you are handed one of these, you are welcome to tell the ICE agent that they do not have your consent to enter the building. When we talk about private areas, we mean spaces that are not open to the public. Now, I know most places of worship are open to everyone, but that doesn't mean every part of the property is considered public. Obviously, everything inside the building is considered private, but what about the parking lot or the playground that's on property or the driveway? Depending on how the property is set up, if it is owned and controlled by the congregation, it is considered private, but sidewalks and walkways outside of the property are not. Now let's go over what to do when ICE agents start asking staff members questions. The most important thing to remember is that you must remain calm and respectful. You must also remember that you are not obligated to answer any questions about your congregation or any other staff members. Officers will typically ask you questions about who attends your congregation, whether you know about a specific person, and if they're feeling gutsy, they might even ask you if you know about their status. The best answer you can give is, I don't want to answer your questions and I want an attorney. Staff should also avoid signing anything or providing any documents without talking to legal counsel first. Everyone, regardless of their status, has the right to remain silent, has the right to refuse to answer any questions, and has the right to not sign any documents without talking to legal counsel first. Now, if ICE agents suddenly turn their attention to you rather than a member of your congregation, remember that your rights are exactly the same. We have all seen the news. ICE agents are targeting people of color or pretty much anybody with an accent. You are also welcome to say that you don't want to answer, but I understand that at that very moment, people feel pressured to answer questions because they want to avoid being detained. And in some areas, unfortunately, that is a very real possibility. If you choose to answer, that's on you. But here's what I want to drill into your head. If you want to prove your identification, or you want to pull out your green card or your passport to show the officer, please say, "Officer, may I please reach into my bag, wallet, whatever it is?" Because the last thing we need is the officer thinking that you're about to pull out something dangerous. Another extremely important step is to record everything. Everything needs to be documented. Tell all of your staff to have their phones ready when ICE agents arrive. You need to have a clear record of events, but you need to do it without interfering. Don't block ICE agents, don't get in their way. And this seems obvious, but do not physically try to stop them if they choose to detain someone. The goal is to record everything while remaining calm and non-confrontational. Remaining calm is especially important in places of worship because you have large gatherings. Panic can create dangerous situations. If people start rushing out in large numbers, someone is going to get hurt. Not only is it important for the staff to remain calm and respectful, but organized. They should absolutely avoid spreading alarm unless it's absolutely necessary. The goal is to manage the entire situation safely and professionally. Finally, even though we practice nationwide, a quick note on Texas and California because we have offices in both. These two states could not be more different. In the past, places of worship were considered sensitive locations, and so immigration enforcement usually avoided them. That policy has unfortunately now changed. Some protections still exist in California due to court orders involving certain religious institutions. In Texas, however, those protections do not generally apply. Texas law enforcement also cooperate with ICE, however, in California, they don't. Some things to keep in mind before you call the police. The most important takeaway from all of this is preparation. Train mature staff ahead of time, make sure people understand their rights, keep cameras ready to document interactions, and always have the contact information of an immigration attorney available. If you work for a mosque, church, synagogue, temple, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to answer any questions free of charge. God bless and stay safe.